you're trying to keep it together for everyone, right? You're kind of trying to be showing them that you have what it takes to be there can kind of manipulate your own way of thinking because having what it takes to be there doesn't necessarily translate into having what it takes to be there for yourself. My name is Justine Davie. I'm a U.S. Marine veteran, I'm a wife, and I'm a multimedia producer based out of New York City. I commissioned through an NROTC scholarship out of the University of Arizona, and I commissioned in December 2008 as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Marine Corps. Following completion of the basic school, I became a public affairs officer, and I served in Afghanistan from 2010 to 2011 out of Camp Leatherneck. When I came off active duty, it was pretty much right after Afghanistan, and I was there for a year. And I decided not to extend my contract. So one of the things I really wanted to do was travel. So I took about an entire year off. I took that deployment pay and I was like, here's for grown-up savings, and this much is for travel, and this other much is, who knows what. But I knew that, I wouldn't have been able to have that experience if I had stayed in. And I kind of reached this point in my life, especially with public affairs in general, is that because of just how the institution is structured, the things that I wanted to do in media, I wouldn't be able to achieve had I stayed in, because there's a lot of red tape, so to speak. You have to get a lot of approvals where sometimes you just want to do what you can to tell a story, whether that's through social media, which was really becoming a huge thing during that time, or just picking up a camera and shooting a film. So I think I got really lucky because my experience had been in the media. So it was a much more, on the surface, I think it was a lot more transferable than some other military occupational specialties out there. But the thing about getting out and diving to the civilian world, and especially because I decided to start out in New York, and New York is incredibly military friendly. And every interview that you would get, it's like, they're so impressed with this paper that they are looking at in front of them. It's your resume, and these words they probably don't understand. And they're so impressed by you as an individual, but they don't always know what to do with you, right? When you're transitioning into a civilian job, it's very hard, I think, as a military person to see it as this wild opportunity where you can do whatever you want, because that's essentially what it is, right? But the thing is that you come from this institution where everything is essentially decided for you. This is your career. When you reach to this point, you go to this school. Then when you do this, you reach this rank. And so when you're not in that situation and you have the choice to do whatever it is you want, if you don't do that, no one's gonna do it for you. So you almost have to be even more motivated to try to get out there and do something. And then you're also even more scared. And there is a lot of, it's a very backwards imposter syndrome thing. And so it's like you have to get past that mental hurdle and be like, look, you're already there, so you're being your own worst enemy right now. But obviously, someone believed in you that you had what it takes to be there because you're there right now. So then maybe the bigger question is, what do you think that they saw in you? I realized that I couldn't talk to myself the way I would talk to a friend, right? It's so easy for me to talk to someone that I love and care about and think about, look, these are the best things about you. These are how you contribute to the world, and you are a wonderful, beautiful soul, and you need to just keep going. But to have that same conversation with myself, it doesn't sound like that at all. I ended up getting really lucky. There's this whole, what we like to call it, the Marine Corps Mafia in New York City, and there's just so many Marine Corps veterans in so many different industries. And I got really lucky with finding a creative group of Marines who were around my same age group, who were into, filmmaking and directing and writing, screenwriting and acting. And I think, I got really lucky with finding that group because it translated into both a creative outlet where it's like a group that has similar, if not bizarre, interests in what you're trying to do with this next phase of life. That's incredibly supportive because all those people know someone who knows someone. And depending on your industry, and again, this is very specific to mine, a lot of it is about who you know. So it might not be your veteran friend might not have a whole decade of media contacts to get you in touch with, but they might know someone who is hiring for a role that's specific to what you're looking to do, and then that person might luckily have
and understanding for what a veteran can bring to the table.